Okay, I just finished from court. And I decided to make this short video. 5 things to consider if you're doing legal research. 5 things to consider if you're doing legal research. The first and most important thing you should consider is the citation method you're being asked to use. Now, in Nigeria, we have the NALS guideline, is National Association of Law Teachers, their own specific guideline. It takes borrows leave from the OSCOLA guideline, which is the Oxford, um, I think Oxford referencing for legal citations. Then you also have, I think students in Australia have a different one. You also have the Harvard citation. So just know the citation for your school specifically. It is very, very important. The second thing you should note is the guideline for the assignment. Now, every assignment, whether it's a coursework at an LLM level or a graduate level, there's always a guideline that contains the question you're being asked to research on. Now, it may go further to prescribe the font size and probably the page size too that you should use. So you have to take note of that. So the first thing you take note of is the citation method. The second thing you take note of is the guideline for the questions asked. The third thing you should take note of is the resources you should use. Now, if it is a long project, maybe a thesis, a dissertation, it is advised that you use more books as much as you can rather than internet sources, so it is, if the topic is now a novel topic that does not have enough books or enough hard copy materials in existence, then you can revert back to online resources, but it is advised that you use more of um, books in a long essay than internet sources. So the resources you use matters a lot and where you get them for. The next thing you do is make sure you cite every reference appropriately, cite every book appropriately, cite every website appropriately, and each citation method has its own specific or unique way of how you cite. So ensure that you, while writing, you have beside you the citation method so you can easily make reference while you are writing. So I think I've mentioned 3 things, and then the next thing you should take note of is how do you read and extract the key points in your research. How do you extract the key points in your research? Most times you have a lot of materials. We call them materials in Nigeria, but you know what I mean. A lot of books, a lot of articles, a lot of things that you need to go through. So how do you know what to draw out and apply to yours? Uh, there may be no time for in-depth study of all the materials. So it is best you first of all look at the abstract of whatever you're reading. Look at the abstract. It will tell you what the main contents of maybe an essay, an article, or a book, what it really contains. And from the abstract, you can now decide if it's a book or it has a table of contents. You can now look at the table of contents. You will know the exact chapters or the exact pages that have the things that relate directly to your research. So I've mentioned 4 things now, right? Then the fifth thing you should take note of is after writing, make sure that a third eye goes through your work before submission. A third eye, very, very important. No matter how excellent you think your work is, make sure that another person goes through it, and it's advised that more than one. My advice is 2 more in addition to yours. So that is the third eye I'm talking about. So these are just the basic 5 things you should take note of while doing your research. From a researcher myself, So take note of that. And it's 5 minutes. I have to go. See you later.